The cabin door groaned against the howling January wind of 1885. Elijah Whitaker, a rancher who'd sworn off women for a decade after burying his beloved Mary, stood frozen as three Shoshone women appeared on his threshold, drenched and trembling in the Montana Territory's brutal blizzard. Their eyes held desperation and a spark of defiance that stirred something long dormant in him. Behind them, the endless snow-swept plains promised death to anyone foolish enough to linger outside. Inside his modest 18 by 22-foot cabin, one room, one bed, and a fire that barely held back the cold. Elijah's calloused hands tightened on the frame. What happens when a man's ironclad vow crashes against raw human need? The answer would test everything he believed. 3 days prior, Elijah had been chopping firewood behind his isolated spread, 15 miles west of Billings, when the flakes started falling thick and fast. At 45, he moved with the grim efficiency of a survivor, every chop a ritual against the territory's unforgiving winters. Folks in town called him the recluse of Bitterroot Valley, not unkindly, but with pity. 10 years was an eternity to mourn, they muttered, too long to cling to a ghost. But Elijah remembered Mary's final whisper, "Promise you'll cherish our love forever." And he had, damn it all. The cabin he'd built for their dreams still echoed her touch the quilt she'd sewn by lamplight, the iron skillet she'd seasoned with care, the faded tintype on the shelf showing her in her Sunday best, her smile like summer sun. Every evening, he'd twist the plain gold band on his finger, recalling how she'd laugh at his bad jokes, how she'd nestle close during storms, the soft sighs she'd make in the quiet hours. Some memories he locked away, too raw even for solitude. The territory-tested men relentlessly raid from restless tribes, kept settlers huddled near forts, but Elijah stayed rooted, tending his cattle herd, subsisting on hardtack and venison, speaking only to the traveling minister who passed through quarterly. Loneliness ain't faithfulness, Eli. Reverend Hayes had preached last fall. Married want you living, not just enduring. What did he know? He'd never cradled a dying wife, never vowed eternal love with his whole soul. Now, as the blizzard raged with freakish fury, Elijah knew his resolve was about to fracture. The knock came past midnight, faint and frantic, nearly swallowed by the gale. He grabbed his Winchester by reflex. Strangers didn't knock politely in these parts. Through the iced pane, he saw shadows, 3 figures clinging together like lost souls. 10 years of self-imposed exile teetered. The knock weakened, pleading. Elijah, who'd armored himself against the world, swung open the door to 3 stunning Shoshone women who collapsed inside like a vision from fevered dreams. They entered with the poised grace of their people, even battered by the elements. The oldest, Nita, held command in her stance, her sodden deerskin dress hugging her form, chin high despite blue-tinged lips. Her sisters flanked her, Kaya, swaying with illness, her ethereal features marked by high cheeks and knowing eyes that hinted at a healer's touch, and young Loma, barely 21, vibrant and inquisitive, her gaze darting over the cabin's details, the tintype of Mary, Elijah's ring, signs a man chained to grief. "We are kin to Washaki's line," Nita said in fractured English, her voice steady. "Army pushes us to the Wind River Reserve. We refuse. We flee." Elijah knew the tale without elaboration. Since the Fetterman fight, troops had herded Shoshone families, tearing them apart like scattered herds. Kaya faltered, her beauty undimmed by shivers. "She's ailing," Nita urged. "Need warmth. Safety." Loma nodded at Mary's image. "Your lady. Lovely." Elijah's chest tightened. She was. Understanding dawned in Nita's eyes. "You know sorrow." The room hushed but for the fire's crackle and wind's assault. 3 women who'd lost kin. 1 man who'd lost his anchor. "Can't stay forever," he muttered, fetching blankets. "Patrols ride through. If they catch you." "We know risk for you too," Nita replied. That sealed it, not reason, but the gut pull that had made him hold Mary through her fever, the honor that kept him true. He offered the bed, claiming the floor. Food in the pantry. Coffee's hot. As he turned away, giving privacy while they shed wet garb, he glimpsed lithe forms in firelight, heard soft Shoshone murmurs. 10 years celibate, one tiny cabin, one endless storm. What fresh hell was this? By day 4, the blizzard had locked them in, turning the valley into a white tomb. The cabin pulsed with unfamiliar life, stirring echoes Elijah thought dead since Mary. Kaya, fever broken, wove through the space with quiet magic, transforming his meager stores into hearty stews that warmed more than bellies. Her hands, soft and sure, mended a tear in his shirt with stitches finer than any he'd seen. Loma, ever curious, quizzed him on white man ways as shaving kits sparked giggles, her laughter banishing the cabin's gloom like dawn after night. But Nita rattled him deepest. She observed everything, how he averted his eyes from their forms, how his fingers trembled when Kaya bandaged a splinter, how the ring gleamed like a barrier. On the 4th night, with her sisters asleep, she sat by him at the hearth. You are an honorable man, but the burden is heavy here. She touched her heart. Elijah stared into flames, ignoring the blanket's slip, revealing her shoulders' smooth curve. Some loads you carry alone. My elder says heart like a stream block it, and it floods or dries. She edged nearer, her scent earthy and sweet from Kaya's herbal wash. Your lady wants you withered? The words struck hard. His hand spun the ring, a tick born of years. I promise forever. Forever love, not forever alone. Loma stirred sleepily. In our ways, a widower gets a new heart. Life is too harsh solo. Kaya chuckled softly. You battle nature. Surrounded by their gentle siege, Elijah felt the shrine to Mary's shift towards something vital. Outside, wind screamed. Inside, warmth bloomed dangerously. On day 9, rifle cracks pierced the peace army signals in the distance. Elijah surged up, alert as a hunted buck. Through frost, smoke rose, search parties. They're here, Nita hissed, rousing her sisters. In moments, they morphed from companions to prey, eyes sharp with survival's edge. Cellar, he barked, lifting the trapdoor under the table. Silent, no matter what. He erased traces. Extra mugs vanished, since masked by scorched beans. The squad arrived. 8 troopers under Captain Hale, a stern veteran Elijah knew from supply runs to Fort Benton. Morning, Whitaker. Coffee. Hale dismounted, eyes sweeping. Nasty patrol weather. Elijah poured steadily, pulse racing. What's the hunt? 3 Shoshone women bolted the reserve. Arm, maybe? Dangerous sort. Below, breaths held in the dark. Hale eyed the tidy space, pausing at Mary's tintype. Heard you're widowed. Tough breakout here. Keeps a man sharp. Hale's gaze hardened. These women seductive types twist a man's loyalties. Elijah met it coolly. Wouldn't know. You're a patriot, ex-militia. Duty first. Tension coiled like a spring. The floor seemed to thrum with hidden life. Seen tracks. Hale pressed. Storm wiped them. Hale lingered, threat implicit. Elijah straightened. I've bled for this land since before your commission. Don't preach duty. Hale flushed but backed off. Just a job. Then right on. An hour post-departure, Elijah opened the hatch. 3 grateful gazes met his. He'd crossed a line not just sheltering, but defying the law for them. For the first time in a decade, he felt alive, not just enduring. That night, the air crackled electric. The close call stripped illusions, bearing truths. Elijah oiled his gun needlessly, hands busy against rising heat as the women moved with bold intimacy. You could have turned us in, Nita said, settling close. Safer. Not right. Kaya neared with tea, fingers brushing his, lingering. Her beauty glowed neck's elegant line, hair's fire-kissed sheen. Hands tremble. You're all stunning. and I'm starved for company. Loma grinned from the bed. We see the hunger. Nita turned his face from Mary's image. She's past. We're present. The dam bursted decades, ache, longing need. The ring felt like shackles. I don't remember how. We guide, Kaya whispered, palm on his chest. Feel the beat for the living. Loma added, winter shares warmth. Natural, joyful. Nita traced the band. She want life? It slipped off, placed by the tinny pennant discarded, but honored beside a woven charm Kaya crafted. What unfolded was rebirth. Nita, commanding, led with fierce tenderness, teaching surrender. Kaya healed with gentle caresses, easing old scars. Loma brought playfulness, turning union to delight, her laughs mingling with gasps. In fire's glow, Elijah learned hearts expand from manifold loves. Tears fell, washing grief as they revived him. Dawn broke cruelly, storms fade, havens end. The sisters stood ready, clad for travel to Idaho kin. Safe there, Nita said. Elijah nodded, throat thick. On the shelf, Mary's mementos joined new tokens. Be whole now, Loma asked. I'll live fully. Nita smiled. Heart knows. They vanished in a glittering snow, silhouettes etching legend. Elijah stoked the fire, warmed for futures ahead. 8 months on, a note came from Idaho. Weddings, births, a boy named Elijah. He tucked it with Mary's things, smiling. Some tales end in loss, others in renewal, the finest in change. What do you think? Should Elijah have stayed true to his vow? Or was opening his heart the right call? Share your stance in the comments below, and let's debate this wild frontier story.